That's right. We back at it. Your favorite cousins checking in. Young J.O.C. Miss Shyneka, Shawty with Young Joc in the streets morning. Takeover this morning, man. We got to get right to it. We got to handle some business. Y'all play too much. In the studio, we have a very special guest, the one and only friend to the streets morning takeover, Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett.
Yes.
Good morning, Jasmine.
Good
Crockett.
morning. You are so dramatic.
I got to be when I say your name because, if I say your name without enough on it, it don't hit right. Because, young man was asking earlier, he doesn't really watch much TV. He's not really into politics. He said, who is that right there? And everybody in the room said, you don't know who that is? And so, it's important, you kind of like living legend. And even though kind of you live in legend, to be a woman, a black woman in politics.
Young black woman in politics.
And be considered a living legend says a lot, man. Bears a lot of fruit amongst the community, amongst socialites, amongst our culture. And, we appreciate you. You know what I'm saying? It ain't often that we can say we got a friend who has the contacts you have or has been in the rooms you've been in. You know what I'm saying?
Or has made the difference in our culture as she
or not scared to speak their mind about issues that they really hits in our community. It's different things in our community people won't speak up about or they'll just let go. But you're willing to go all the way there to get your point across for yours. And we need more like you in our community.
But what was your change of heart, Shawty? Because at some point you thought that she was an over opinionated black woman. And I want to be, because I want to know what the difference was for you, because I wholeheartedly feel like you believe what you just said.
Oh yes, she's not afraid. And in certain, it's just I think that we should speak up, and I should spoke up about things that were going on with me. So I had to put myself in her position. Now, sometimes speaking up can cost you. And sometimes we might not agree with the approach, but to have the gall to speak up and to be able to face whatever is very brave.
Well, I appreciate that. And I love and appreciate each of you. And I want y'all to know that y'all play a significant role in culture. And I think that right now, most people are trying to figure out exactly what is it that I'm supposed to be doing? What is it that I can do? And I need people to understand that we all have our own purpose. Like, God has put a purpose on each and every one of our lives. And so we're contributing something. And for me, I've been blessed to serve in the Congress, but also be an authentic voice. And I know exactly what you're talking about. I remember, but I'm going to be real with you and tell you, Shawty, that so many people for a long time just really didn't believe that I was me. They thought that it was an act they thought I was putting on. And then after they consistently watched, they were like, no, that's exactly who she is. And I think that there have been so many fake people in politics that a lot of people, their first inclination is like, oh, no, this is somebody else that's putting on. But with my consistency, and as you talk about the fact that like speaking up can cost you a lot, there's a lot that people don't know when it comes to the threats that are on my life, the crimes that have been perpetrated against me. Like, I don't talk about that because I don't want to highlight like my haters. You'll get it in the book later. But the point is, I think that when we look at the moment that we're in right now, if we sit here idly, we will continue to lose our rights. And I didn't become the 55th black woman to be elected to the United States House, but for people being willing to risk their lives, and some gave their lives, and plenty were jailed and bloodied.
Yeah. And you know what? That's a lot without saying too much. If anyone knows about, not politics, if you just understand life, if you just understand patterns of different changes and things we go through, then everything you just said was so on point. And that's what leads me to go right here. Karmelo Anthony.
Yeah.
This has been an outrage all over the nation. Every city I've gone to, whether it's radio, whether it's a concert, whether I'm filming something, people come to me and ask me that because I don't know if they know it's because I'm a black man who may be affected by this. Is it because I'm on the radio, or if they just feel like I'm a voice because people know me? I don't know, but it always comes up, and it's come out now that they've hired a new legal team, asking for a new judge.
Yeah.
What is your outlook on this? Because I'm still at this point in my life as a man trying to figure out how this young man was convicted. I'm still trying to figure that out. I don't know if you can explain that, but what are the challenges that we face moving forward? Not even just we, the family of Karmelo Anthony.
Yeah, so a couple of things about this. Number one, for those of you unaware, Karmelo Anthony, this is a case out of Texas. It's out of a county that's right north of the county that I represent. So it's right north of Dallas County. But I want to be clear about a couple of things. I did a 2-hour live, really breaking down a lot of stuff that happened with Karmelo. So I can't break it all down for sure in the time that we have. But I will say that is one of the things that I spoke up about that caused me to have a lot of hate. People started calling my office consistently. My poor little interns were answering the calls, and they were not kind calls. People were mad. They were saying, I can't believe she's defending a murderer, this and that. For those of y'all that don't know, I did criminal defense. I have never prosecuted. And so I have actually tried murder cases. I have walked people on murder. And if I was given an opportunity to actually try cases right now, this is one of the cases that I would have loved to have been in the courtroom with. But you talked about the new legal team. The new legal team has approximately 6 lawyers, I think. 2 of them are actually my own. So I feel really confident. I don't have a ton of lawyers, but I do have a number of lawyers. And the lead attorney, Russell Wilson, is actually every black lawyer and judge's lawyer. So he is every lawyer's lawyer. That is who you want. You want the person that everyone hires. Russell has done criminal work. He is certified in criminal work specifically, so he can call himself an expert. In addition to that, Russell sat and he was one of those lawyers that was responsible for determining whether or not lawyers would actually keep their license. The reason that this matters is because the first thing that I think anyone would want to attack is whether or not these attorneys were ineffective. This is somebody that knows the rules in and out, and the easiest way to actually get a new trial is if you had ineffective assistance of counsel. This guy is an expert in that space. In addition to that, there was a motion to recuse that you referenced. I think that is actually so critical in this moment. You see, judges are supposed to be neutral. They are supposed to just call balls and strikes. And so you don't normally see a judge doing interviews on TV or to a newspaper. Well, this judge decided that he wanted to double down and say that he believes that the jury got it right. And so people are like, well, the trial had ended. Not really, because they're filing a motion for new trial. A motion for new trial goes to the trial judge. But if the trial judge has already evidenced that he has already made a decision on this, now granted, I don't think that anybody is not human, right? The thing is, you're not supposed to say it, right? Exactly. So the thing is, he probably had already made up his mind about this case, but the fact that he said it before the case had actually left his hands, that is a problem. And so, and Russell caught it immediately. So we'll see what happens. I know the administrative judge, Judge Wheelis, he'll be the one to make a decision about whether or not a recusal should take place. And I'll tell you that Judge Wheelis, I've only filed one recusal on a judge in my entire career. And Judge Wheelis granted it. It is a big deal when you file a motion to recuse. And I can tell you that this was not done lightly. I can tell you that I feel as if they absolutely have a leg to stand on. But I also want people to be prepared that appeals do not happen quickly, and this is still in Texas. So I look forward to watching this team really dig through. I think one of the things that they're going to look at when they're looking at ineffective assistance of counsel is whether or not this team actually fully investigated. Failure to investigate is a really big deal. So we'll see. But I look forward to seeing what happens next.
I remember when I seen you speak about the case, I immediately contacted our executive producer, Akini, like, yo, it meant so much because you're from there. The culture of the people there and how they are. And that's what stood out the most to me.
Yeah. I mean, listen, y'all know, just like those in Fulton County versus some of these other counties. Right. Yeah. You're like, well, wait a minute now. Like, you don't want your case tried in certain counties, right? So just don't get in trouble in certain. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. So that's exactly what this was. It's like if it was Dallas County, you would anticipate, number one, a diverse jury. We all know that there was not one African American on this particular jury. And the reason that this matters, I know that people hear things like, oh, a jury of your peers. In fact, let me make this PSA. If you get called in for jury duty, stop deciding that you don't want to go.
That's crazy.
It could be, I need y'all to show up, and at a very minimum, make them strike you so that attorneys like this appellate team will be able to say that there's this thing that we call a Batson challenge because they don't want you there anyway. So show up. Show up, show up. They'll most likely get rid of you anyway.
I'm so glad you said that.
So no, it is really important. So there were no African Americans, and the reason that this matters is that they were going with self-defense. Self-defense is not about what you think somebody should have done. It's about someone who is similarly situated and whether or not it was reasonable for that person. And so they were supposed to put themselves into the position of, say, a 17-year-old, which we know the things that we did when we were 17 may look a little suspect, right? Like, was it reasonable for a 17-year-old black kid who was surrounded by a number of white kids, which leads me to Nolan Wells in Mississippi.
Just about to ask you.
Nolan Wells. So for those that did not understand or could not conceptualize how it was that a little black kid could be afraid of a group of white children, all I have to say is somehow Nolan Wells is deceased. And something tells me it wasn't natural causes for this 18-year-old to die who left his home with a group of white kids.
And they do those type of activities on the regular to come back with his phone and not him. How do you have his phone and not him? A million and one things could have happened. He could say, hey, hold my phone. I'm going to jump in and go after this. Whatever the case may be, it's a lot of questions, a lot of
for them to keep saying that there's no findings of any foul play is just absolutely amazing to me.
I have no idea, what's going to happen, but another good friend, Ben Crump, is on that case, and we know that Nolan's body has been transported to Washington, D.C., where there will be an independent autopsy that will be conducted. But this 18-year-old didn't just die. And even if he had, if you, my friend, just another PSA, somebody call the authorities.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even understand. Like, you more concerned about having my phone than you are about having my body? Like, at a very minimum, even if he had passed out, like, put him on the boat and take him ashore. So, I mean, we will see what happened. We know that there's stories of, potential partying things that may have been going on. But at the end of the day, like, y'all know we've always had a buddy system.
Right.
Like, we don't leave each other. Like, that is crazy and wild. But again, there are certain cultural things that we do. And that is why it is so important to make sure, again, that you show up for jury duty. Because let's say something does happen and there are charges that come about. People need to understand what was going on specifically on both sides. And that is why we are supposed to have juries of our peers.
But it happens all the time. I'm glad you spoke on it, man. Thank you. I just got to touch on that. You said it, but as a black man, I got to say it too. Listen, when y'all going there for that jury duty, I know it ain't but $25 for that day, those days, them few weeks, however long you got to do it. You have to be a part of the system if you want to play or be able to go against it. You got to know how it works. Because I'm glad you said that. They called me down. I was about to be on this murder case. Like, it's going to last 2 weeks. I was like, who? It's like a young black guy. It seems like he could possibly be, because people was kind of speculating. We weren't even supposed to know about the story, but somebody was, talking. Yeah. And guess what everybody said? I don't want to have nothing to do with it. I'm going to tell them I listen to rap music. I'm going to tell them I do drugs. I'm like, bro. And everybody walks away from the opportunity to be a part of the grand scheme of things and making a difference. So I just want to put it out there. Thank you for touching on that.
Before we wrap it up with Jasmine, I just want to know, what is the future? What does 2026, 2027 look like for Jasmine Crockett?
Can you just run for president, please?
No. Yeah, not happening. But I leave Congress in January, for those of you that don't know. And so I'm going to be working, I'm going to go back to practicing law. So I'm talking to a number of law firms. As y'all can tell, I love the law. So absolutely going to go back to practicing law. I'm also going to be looking to see who wants to give me a gig to do some commentating on TV so that I can break down things, whether it's legal things or political things. We'll be working on a book. We'll be working on a podcast. We'll be doing all things. Listen, so I will not be going away.
I loved your perspective on The View, sitting at that table with those women.
The View, if y'all listening.
Like I was at the table.
I like The View. I do like The View. I think they've done a good job. But I think we need you on Streetz TV with your own thing. Joining you to a cast is cool. But I'd rather hear from you. I'd rather you to be the orchestrator of the head.
Jasmine, I just want to let you know, Joc is taking all the money. He has all the budget. He has all the budget.
I want to see you in that space. Again, thank you, Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett, friend of the show, Young Joc in the Streetz Morning Takeover. Coming up, we're going to be talking about Miss Shyneka's tips on how to save $5 a day. And it'll make you a millionaire by the time.
On how to keep your edges strong. Joc and Shawty, pay attention.
I thought you were talking about them real tips she be eating at breakfast.
Keep it locked on Joc in the Streetz Morning Takeover.